All right, Shalom Israel. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect. Okay. Hey, I found this article, man. It's beautiful, man. Going to show you that we are in the time of war, man. All right. We are in the time of war, and this is already the month of January, man. To where many things are happening across the world. Earthquakes, hundreds of earthquakes are happening daily. All right, hundreds of articles are coming out about the chip, the RFID chip. All right, or the mark of the beast, if you will, coming out daily. All right, and hey, this article proves that we are at war, man. All right, or America, slacking, not we, but America is at war, man. All right, now reads, the State Department issues a travel advisory as the U.S. and China steamroll toward open conflict. All right, and this is going to come to a time to where the scriptures say, like Isaiah 13 or Isaiah 34. All right, to where all these other nations are going to steamroll into open conflict, man, with America. All right, the scriptures in Obadiah tells us, Obadiah 6 verse tells us that they that were confederate against thee have brought thee even into the border, which that border being over there in the Middle East, or the Valley of Jehoshaphat. All right, to where all of America's allies going to come together against her. All right, to fight America. And then America and all these allies, they're going to stop fighting and fight against the Lord. What's going to be sorely destroyed. All right. So this it reads on to say the U.S. State Department has officially issued a level 2 advisory for travel in China. Now, just a quick Google search on what the different levels of travel advisory. Because prior to traveling, the U.S. they recommend you check this site, the U.S. Department of State government right here, you see, which basically gives you a breakdown on how safe it is to travel to certain countries. Now, level 1 being I'm gonna just read it. Under the new system, every country will have a travel advisory providing levels of advising ranging from 1 to 4. Level 1, exercise normal precaution. This is the lowest advisory level for safety and security risks. It says there is some risk in any international travel. All right, so like I said, level 1, well, like it says, level 1 being the lowest, and level 4 meaning you shouldn't travel there at all. I believe like Afghanistan would be considered a level 4. Okay, and in China we just read was a level 2, which means exercise increased caution. All right, so why would it say that? It says for travel has officially issued. I'm gonna read it again. The U.S. State Department has officially issued a level 2 advisory for China to travel to China, and U.S. citizens are being warned that they could be detained and subjected to prolonged interrogations and extended detention. That sounds extremely ominous, but most Americans typically ignore warnings like this and continue with their normal travel plans anyway. However, this time around, people might want to take heed, because as you will see below, Westerners are being grabbed and held indefinitely by China right now. After Huawei Technology CFO Ming Wanzhou was grabbed while she was changing plans in Canada on December 1st, the Chinese decided that they could play that game too. So if you are planning, all right, so yeah, okay, so it's right here showing you that America, let's see up there. All right, so one of their peoples got grabbed. So they're like, all right, we're gonna meet you at your game. So it says the Chinese decided that they could play that game too. So if you're planning to travel to China, the truth is, you could very easily become a pawn in a struggle between the world's 2 largest superpowers. Hey, we at war, man. You know, hey, it's this world that we live in is about to change, man. You got this government shutdown, which is the third straight week. All right, and Trump talking about it can go for year or even years, man, because he can't get his funding for that wall. And the longer this government shutdown goes, the more the benefits are going to be taken from you people, man. They already they're already talking about Jake not getting their food stamps, or people in general really not getting their food stamps in the month of February. All right, you got a lot of government workers, all right, already struggling. Okay, so hey, this place is going down hard, man. For all the wickedness they have done to the children of Israel, to you tribes, to you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Okay? If you live by the sword, you're going to die by the sword, as the scriptures say. All right, so it says, it reads on, if you have not read the travel advisory yet, you can find it right here. The following is how it begins. It says, exercise increased caution in China due to arbitrary enforcement of local laws, as well as special restrictions on dual U.S. Chinese nationals. Chinese authorities have brought authority to prohibit U.S. citizens from leaving China by using exit bans, sometimes keeping U.S. citizens in China for years. China uses exit bans coercively to compel U.S. citizens to participate in Chinese government investigations, to lure individuals back to China from abroad, and to aid Chinese authorities in resolving civil disputes in China of Chinese parties. In most cases, U.S. citizens have only become aware of the exit ban when they attempt to depart China, and there is no method to finding out how long the ban may continue. U.S. citizens under exit bans have been harassed and threatened. They have been harassed and threatened, man. So China is fed up with America's BS, man. Here it is. Trump is exercising heavy tariffs on China. All right, which is stupid. All right, because here it is, America. They get a lot of their imported goods from China, man. They get a lot of their imported goods from China, man. All right. So, but they're taxing the shit out of China. From the things that certain things that China needs for their economy. So China's pissed off about that. All right, and then you got it to where I've seen this other article right here. It says U.S. warships. This is just 7 hours ago. U.S. warships sails in South China Sea amid travel talks with Beijing. It says China protests over U.S. Navy vessels sailing near disputed Paracel Islands as U.S. officials join trade talks in Beijing. China has large stern representations with the United States over a U.S. Navy vessel sailing through the disputed South China Sea, as U.S. officials join trade talks in Beijing to seek a de-escalation in the Sino-U.S. trade war. Okay, it says Luke King, spokesman for China's foreign ministry, said on Monday that Chinese military aircraft and naval vessels were dispatched to identify the U.S. vessel and warn it to leave the area near the disputed Paracel Islands in the South China Sea claimed by China. We urge the United States to immediately cease this kind of provocation, he said, adding that China has lodged stern complaints with the U.S. over the move. All right, so basically, the U.S. is provoking China, all right, in territory that's not even theirs, mind you. This is a sovereign territory, the South China Sea. Okay. It says the warship, he said, have violated Chinese and international law, infringed on Chinese sovereignty, and undermined peace and stability, which that's America, man. Here it is. As the scriptures say, though they, let me just get that actually. Psalms, real quick, Psalms 51. No, 55. 55 and, what was that? 21, it says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. So it is, he's sitting down with these Chinese officials, all right, trying to so-called, come to peace terms as far as the trade war is concerned, all right. But on the other hand, all right, on the left hand, if you will, all right, they're trying to provoke China with their U.S. Navy ship in the South China Seas. Okay. So, hey, China got every right to be pissed off, man. Which I believe this trade war also is going to escalate, man. To where things are going to get super expensive over here in America. Soon enough, people, you're going to have a lot of these foreign countries stop dealing with America, man. Which is going to lead to also famine. All right, which is going to lead to looting and rioting in the streets. It's going to get bad over here, man. All right. Hey, so you're going to have war without and war within. Okay. It says, U.S. citizens may be detained without access to U.S. consular services or information about their alleged crime. U.S. citizens may be subject to prolonged interrogations and extended detention for reasons related to state security. Security personnel may detain and or deport U.S. citizens for sending private electronic messages critical of the Chinese government. If you end up being subject to an exit ban while you are in China, that means you are stuck there until the Chinese government decides that you can go. In some cases, that never actually happens. Of the worst case scenario is that they grab you, interrogate the living daylights out of you, and then you are never seen or heard of or heard from again. Hey, so I advise brothers to check this site out. As Prison Planet. It's entitled "The State Department Issued a Travel Advisory as the U.S. and China steamroll toward open conflict." If I remember, I'll try to put those two articles in the description box. All right, so this is law of war, the law of war. Okay, which further proves how America. Let me stop saying we. How America is at war. So it says the law of war is the most developed body of law within the law of nations, which regulates the conduct of war within and between sovereigns. All right, which, as we just read, and we know these sort of so-called white men, all right, which runs this America. All right, we know this devil. What the scriptures say. Let me just grab that as well. All right, instead of speaking too much. Back at Psalms 55 and 20, it says he had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant. So hey, don't expect Esau to follow any laws. He don't even follow his own laws that he set up, man. So it says the law of war is the most developed body of law within the law of nations, which regulates the conduct of war within and between sovereigns. All right, China being a sovereign nation, all right, and the U.S. being a sovereign nation. It is perhaps the oldest and most settled body of the law of nations and defines sovereignty in nations, states, and territories, occupations, and other critical terms of international law. Among other issues, modern laws of war address declaration of war, acceptance of surrender, and the treatment of prisoners of war. All right, let's see what that let's get into that. Prisoners of war. It says a prisoner of war, a POW, is a person, whether combatant or non-combatant, who is held in custody by a belligerent power during or immediately after an armed conflict. This is the earliest recorded usage of the phrase prisoner of war dates to 1660. Belligerents hold prisoners of war in custody for a range of legitimate and illegitimate reasons, such as isolating them from enemy combatants still in the field releasing and repatriating them in an orderly manner after hostilities, demonstrating military victory, punishing them, prosecuting them for war crimes, exploiting them for their labor, recruiting, or even conscripting them as their own combatants. And these are all things that, as we just read in the article, that China is doing to, the U.S. Citizens. It says recruiting or even conscripting them as their own combatants. What's that word? Oh, drafting. Okay. Drafting them into their own army. Collecting military and political intelligence from them, or indoctrinating them in new political or religious belief. So there, hey, if you stuck in China, all right, on a so-called exit ban, you are now a prisoner of war. All right, which goes to show that you are at war, man. And now, if America really want to get busy, they will have to go over there, all right, and get busy with China, man. Had to start putting them groups to death. So this is let me see, Ezekiel 7:14. They have blown the trumpet, talking about us. We blowing the trumpet, telling our people, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, to get it together, man. All right, and we say you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, all right, which that's the majority of, that's Israel, man. But we know also, just to, as a disclaimer, you have Israelites that look like other nations. All right, so it's black, Hispanics, and Native Americans on your father's side. All right, so it says they have blown the trumpet even to make all ready, but none go up to the battle. All right, as we just read it in the article on Prison Planet, to where they were saying how most people won't take it serious. All right, you got Jake waiting for their income tax. Well, really, that's that's on a standstill. Jake, hey, you got certain Jake still celebrate New Year's, man. All right. It says they have blown the trumpet even to make all ready, but none go up to the battle. For my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. All right. So we see how the Most High is getting ready to bring his wrath upon the multitude. All right. Which is 2/3. And you heathens, man. That's living it up over here in America. The sword is without, with the travel bans going on over there in China, and the pestilence and the famine within. All right, and we see it like going into, like I was just talking about the government shutdown. That's that's the pestilence and the famine within. All right, it's starting it off, man. It says, he that in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour them. All right, and the scriptures say in Daniel how what's coming upon this earth. All right, is at the time that we coming into, the time of Jacob's trouble, has never before been seen upon earth. All right, so hey, you Jakes need to get it. You need to get serious, man. As the apostles and elders, tell us, you gotta get serious, man. All right, this is 2 Ezra 15:1. It says, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy. ww3, the RFID chip. All right, the sword. All right, bad times, evil times. Jeremiah 28:8 tells us that, man. All right, how the prophets of old, prophesied of the downfall of kingdoms, man. All right, so it says, which I will put in thy mouth, saith Yahweh. So if you're a man of the Lord, you're going to be speaking prophecy. All right, because that's what the Most High is dealing with you, man. You're going to be speaking prophecy. Amos 3:6 tells us that, man. Amos 3:6-8. All right. It says, the Most High have spoken, who can but prophesy? So it says, read on, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. So these things are faithful, man. It says, fear not the imagination against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. All right. And a lot of people are going to die in their unfaithfulness. They're going to keep, we're going to do these videos. You're going to have people scoffing at us until they be destroyed. That's what the scriptures say. How long ye simple ones shall he love simplicity? It says, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith Yahweh, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. You know, so that's coming, man. Death and destruction is coming to this place, man. All right, and like I said, the trade war is gonna escalate. Lord willing, this government shutdown escalates. You know, because we want to get out of here, man. All right, and it's a beautiful time for the elect. All right, to where, hey, we about the curses, you know, the hell that we catching, like the elder was saying, the elder Jaquan was saying yesterday, the hell we catching is going to be lifted up. So like the hell that we're catching is going to be lifted up off of us, and it's going to be pushed upon the masses, man. All right, and the Most High is going to allow us to shine. Hey, so with that, hey, shalom to the elect.